Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
Hello and welcome to Field of Geeks, special episode Wonder Woman. We are your hosts. I'm Josh.
I'm Steve.
I'm Joey.
Special guest today to give us the female perspective on the film. Please welcome Claire, daughter of Steve.
Daughter of Steve.
Daughter
Thought you'd
of
like
Steve.
that.
That's probably the nicest thing she's ever been called in reference to
Oh.
me. So that's-
So we'll start with some non-spoilers and then dive in. I just want to set the scene. You know, BVS was the launching vehicle for all these characters.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't received well, but made a ton of money like Suicide Squad did. And of course, many felt DCEU was in serious trouble. Perhaps it was, looking back, I was nervous a few times about
From a
it.
critical response, it
Yeah.
certainly was in trouble.
Definitely.
There's no question.
So enter Jeff Johns. He's the Kevin Feige now of the universe. Yes, praise him. Wonder Woman is his first baby where he has creative control. Gal Gadot proved herself worthy of the Wonder Woman crown in BVS. Probably the best part of the movie, a lot of people say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Director Patty Jenkins got the job to direct the film. Chris Pine was cast as Steve Trevor. So much was riding on this film in many ways. I myself was nervous about its reception. You know, it just seemed like a make or break, even though I think they would have continued somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But of course, their early buzz was positive, and then there was still negative rumors about this movie's a mess and all that. Yeah, they decided it was going to be like BVS. You know, because some people thought that was a mess, and I understand those criticisms, but the Ultimate Edition's really good. So, as the release date got closer, it was picking up some great critical steam, and I think we can all agree that we were thrilled with the news and even more pumped to see the movie. This was going to be an experience I wanted with BVS. It sadly was kind of killed with all the negativity at that time. We've all seen it. Let's go around the room with our initial thoughts, and then we'll dive into spoilers. So whoever wants to kick it off.
All right, so I was like you, I was really nervous I knew it'd probably be pretty good. And I was reading a lot of articles and interviews with Patty Jenkins on the lead up, to the release. And so I had a lot of confidence, but part of me was still in the back of my head, is this going to be the Chris Pine show starring Wonder Woman? You know what I mean? And it's nothing against Chris Pine. No. It's just that Hollywood historically has always veered towards the male for the center type role, even if it was a female type movie. But they really didn't, man. I was blown away, walking out of that theater. It was just unbelievable. My wife loved it. Yeah, it was great. We're going to see it again this week. But,
Yes.
But I think this does shut up a lot of people in regards to DC.
Or make them talk more.
Make them talk more, at least on the positive side. But, it's you're not seeing that large reaction of fanboys, going crazy because, this isn't what these characters do. Batman doesn't kill, and so it was awesome to see something that not only was so pure to the comics, but pure to the character, and they let that be the focus, and it succeeded. So I liked it.
Yeah, I had a great time. I saw it twice already. Twice within 24 hours. So I
Nice.
had a good chance to pick up, things that I might have missed. I was a little worried too, but I was more confident, hearing all the early stuff because they had a screening, I want to say earlier this year, and a lot of, positive stuff was coming out of that. And even before the movie, I was just thinking if nothing else, this DC universe, the people behind it, they're like a big family. Because if you see them on social media, they really support each other like crazy. Jason Momoa, if he wasn't doing Aquaman right now, he would have been at the premiere. The guy playing Cyborg, I can't think of his name right now. He was at the premiere, and they all, they show up to support each other, which is, really commendable. Reading the positive reviews, I was getting a little worried because I wanted it to be good because it was good, not because it followed a Marvel formula, of all right, so we're going to add humor. It's going to be like this, that, and that. It's I just wanted it to be a good DC movie, not it was copying anybody else. And
Right.
It was. It stood very well on its own. Like you said, it didn't, focus too much on Steve Trevor. Yeah, he was an important character, but at the same time, it was this is about her. This is her time. I think I might have had more fun and there was more crowd reaction I mean, where I was for BVS than this movie, but there was a lot more laughter in this movie, mostly because, you know, there's more humor.
That was refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the humor didn't feel like
It wasn't forced.
no, and it wasn't really a vehicle. It wasn't like kind of shoved in there. It was just like, yeah, you know, she's not of this world. She's so innocent that a lot of the stuff is just really confusing to her. And that's another thing. I'm really glad that like they only spent maybe like half the movie on that. Because if it were like 2 hours of like, oh, what is this? Oh, what is that?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, yep, move on. But no, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
I really liked it. I don't think I've ever seen a superhero movie like that showed that much like compassion and stuff. I feel like it's more just like fight and get revenge or whatever it is. And so I think that having like Wonder Woman as like completely compassionate and like she's just very pure, and I think that was very refreshing to see compared to other ones. So yeah, I really liked it. I think it was the best superhero movie I've ever seen.
Awesome.
So
That's great. Yeah, it's about dang time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been like 30, 40 years in the making, pretty much, to get her on the screen, you know.
For real.
We had, you know, we had the TV show in the 70s that was,
Yeah.
I think it was good for
And for its time, absolutely, it was great. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, I grew up watching that show because I'm 300 and you guys aren't. But yeah, I mean,
300,
it was-
good reference to Zack
Thank
Snyder.
you.
Good.
You're welcome.
Full circle.
Boom. Show's over. See you next week.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it was just a lot of fun, you know, and about the humor, you know, it's from the trailers, you know, that was the one little tiny concern I was thinking about is just like, is this going to get really jokey, you know? And while it did have some humor, most of the humor was the playoff of how a real person would play off of this goddess, you know? And so that was actually, it felt natural as opposed to, you know, the Tony Stark every 19 seconds has to say a joke
Right.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So that was it was really pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a
Chris
great-
Pine killed it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
And yeah, I was fearing that he would take over the movie.
Yeah.
And it was a great balance.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of craftsmanship in this movie, you know, like just they executed perfectly. And
Yeah.
like everything you guys said, I couldn't agree more. I enjoyed it. And
Hearing him speak in like interviews and stuff, it seemed like he knew where he stood with the movie. He knew it wasn't like about him. He was
He's
very
got
much.
good humility. He
Yeah.
does, you know.
yeah, he does.
He was saying.
a good dude.
He was saying like, you know, he wishes more people. They could be more diverse, like, you know, just Hollywood in general. He's like, I've been very lucky to be a tall-ish white guy. So, and I'm very thankful for that. So hopefully, you know, I can use my platform to open up other doors for people.
Right.
Exactly. And look at the Star Trek cast. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
tons of diversity there, and
More the better.
yeah, he was a
Keep it
he was a
coming.
great addition to the movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I couldn't be happier about the reception it's getting. It's exceeded my expectations. I'm just thrilled because this opens the door for so many things.
Yeah.
First off, I think Patty Jenkins has become the first female director in history to have an opening like this.
Yeah,
It's gonna bring
it broke
more,
a Thursday night record.
Yeah,
You know.
like 11 million maybe or something.
I think she
like
was
that.
the first director. I mean, I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes because, like,
I really
the whole
haven't
thing.
since BBS.
yeah, but I think she's the first female director to get like a certified award. I didn't know they give it awards, but
Apparently to do. Is it tomato? Is that what it is?
I don't know. It's like a
it's
glass.
like certified fresh.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
And they put it on the Blu-ray when it comes out. Yeah.
Well done. I had no idea. Kids today.
with your Rotten Tomatoes.
You and your tomatoes.
What happened to Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
they
old
died.
days.
But you
Yeah,
know, I
so-
mean, DC is to the door first. You know, before
Yes.
Marvel, with a female-led movie that just banged it way out of the park. You know, and I think that's pretty sweet. Without spoilers, what I really liked about the Chris Pine character was that while he was enamored by her, he didn't change really who he was either throughout the movie. You know, there wasn't this cheesy point where he just drops all his principles or his background or anything like that and just kind of converts to the hero or anything like that. He
Kind of like Thor.
Yeah.
where immediately they're like in love.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
yeah, just
is he gonna get his hammer back, or are they just gonna get married? Or what's going on?
I know exactly.
How about both?
Thor 0210, you know, and so but it was cool because, you know, at the end, you know, he stayed true to himself, his country and his mission, and you know, he just happened to meet this incredible person along the way. You know, it's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think he based his take on the characters like, made it like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
He kind of wanted to throw an homage to that.
That's what they were going for. Patty Jenkins said it was like Superman, the first Superman movie, mixed with Indiana Jones, mixed with Casablanca,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
which is really cool to
Nailed it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. It was a great structure. I love the cast was great. The Amazons, Robin Wright, you know, just
Man.
warrior, you know.
Killed it.
The one
Yeah.
thing I didn't like about that is that I thought they would have a larger part in the movie.
I agree. Yeah.
That was
or all of them.
all of them. That was very misleading, really, because like you know
So
they
you
were
thought
in the
maybe
first 20 minutes.
Beach scene was like at the end or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was like it carried into, but then I was like, oh, it's immediately, and they're done. All right, cool.
Right.
But the mascara, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it was CGI, but whatever they did shoot on location looked amazing.
They shot in Italy.
I don't remember, but yeah, it was
Green screens and stuff.
Yeah,
it was gorgeous.
Mhm.
Gorgeous.
Well
it's a
done.
good looking movie.
I like the youthful aspect. It reminded me of Batman Begins a little bit, even though Batman Begins was really quick with youth, you know.
Yeah.
But with Diana as a young girl, and her mom doesn't want her to fight,
Yeah.
but she clearly does, and she starts mimicking the Warriors. She goes to their workout sessions, or
Yeah.
whatever, and,
Yeah.
and her aunt's like training her on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know if,
On the fly,
yeah.
you know, kind of under the
Was she
radar.
on?
yeah, that
She
her
was?
aunt. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So should we get
I don't
into
know why I never
spoilers,
put
or
that-
do
yeah,
you wanna
I think-
give
yeah.
the spoiler warning? To
Yeah,
everybody?
let's do it.
Cover
Yeah.
31 spoilers. Okay, so
Here comes the lasso of truth, everybody.
right, exactly.
Everybody's listening now. They're just like, no, wait, I'm not ready.
It's so hot.
Delete, unfollow. No, don't do that. I'm just kidding. I loved the stuff on the mascara. You know, I mean, and they didn't spend too much time with young Diana. It was like just the right amount. You know, it wasn't too fast.
Good build-up,
It didn't drag, and you know, it had that transition from child to, you know, quote unquote adult. You
Yeah,
know?
sure.
I mean, they age insanely slowly. I mean, as a child, part of me is wondering, oh man, I wonder what time period that would have been
Yeah.
with her as an actual kid.
Yeah.
You know, is this like the 1400s, the
Because like, how long
1500s?
does it take for her
Right.
to gain, 10 years?
Yeah, you know, I mean, those
true.
guys, it takes them forever, but great acting
Mm-hmm.
too.
Oh yeah.
And she, as Wonder Woman, I mean, forget that she's just absolutely gorgeous, but I mean, she carried herself, you know, very, you know, in a regal way.
Sure.
You know,
Yep.
you believed every line she said. You know, it was awesome.
She really showed her acting chops. I
Yeah.
think she improved. You know, I mean, Fast and Furious, she didn't really have much to say, but of course, we remember when she was cast as Wonder Woman, the uproar. It was so many things they picked apart on her. You know,
She was in the Fast and the Furious movies? Which one?
Yeah, 4 through
19
6.
or 20? Oh, 4 through 6?
Yeah. She was actually pretty good. I mean,
yeah. But she was like a stick though in those. You know what I mean? She wasn't like she put on muscle.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of people were fearing. You know, not she's like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, sure.
But she never really was in the comics.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to show like she's big and strong.
Yeah.
Like, her actions do enough for that. But yeah, the whole world building was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved Robin Wright's character. I wish we could have seen more of her. That
She
was,
must have gotten in some pretty good shape for that role.
She did.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she actually was. I think everyone somehow she couldn't join the training when they started, so she came late and she just like knocked it out.
Yeah.
Like she just was very strict about how she ate and all that. Of course, they got people telling you, but yeah, she looked like she was.
It's
like,
her last name. That's what does it.
Yeah, right.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's true. She's your sister, right?
nice.
No, but I was really shocked she didn't last as long. But at the same time, I was getting a bad vibe from the trailer that she could be one of those characters that turned evil, and I didn't want that. I don't know. I just some of the things because she was really strict, but of course, as you see in the movie in context,
Yeah.
she loved Diana, and she's just like, you're better than this,
Right.
and it was never about I'm jealous of you or whatever, and the whole origin telling, the mythology was really cool.
Yeah.
They did that animation type thing they did in Man of Steel when they're talking about Krypton, about
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
but it was a little different, but it was cool. It was like
Zeus and
it was like figurines or something. It was kind of a
Right.
weird retelling, but I liked it. I really did, and it sounds like a fairy tale, but they keep hammering it in like she was made from clay and she's
Right.
brought her to life. And
Huge nod to the George Perez Wonder Woman from 1987 forward, where they introduced the Greek mythology, changed the name of Paradise Island at the time, and
Right.
Just a huge hats off and big nod to that stuff. I mean, I'm glad they kept that.
and I think Steve Trevor did call it Paradise Island
He
one
did in the
time
movie,
in
yep.
the movie. So that was a nice nod there.
Yeah.
And the alley scene of the men with guns. That
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I think that's a Superman pole.
Yeah, it was.
Which was really cool. I liked the detail. Like
Yeah.
she stops the bullet, it lands in his hand, and he's like, ha, ha.
Yeah.
I like all that. It was really, and then she just kicked the shit out of this
Right.
It was awesome. Yeah, it's got like a Pretty Woman type of scene when she's getting all dressed up,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What is this?" And
Yeah.
she like rips the dress, and
She's trying to
She's doing all the kicks and stuff. That was so
Yeah.
funny.
and then she holds the shield and sword going out the door,
Right.
and it had just the right balance of humor, action. Drama, because there's a lot of messages in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a ton of messages. The time period was unique because we've seen World War II done to death.
Yeah.
Even though I'm always fascinated about that era, but
It's done very well a lot of
Yeah.
times. Captain America did it great.
right.
But
And this had more grit. I mean, I love Captain America.
So this time they did World War One.
yeah.
Right.
Change it up a bit.
But it was like maybe I don't want to say it this way, but it's the only way I can think to say it. It was like Captain America I wanted to see, like in the wartime.
Yeah.
Just the grit. It just kind of felt.
It was also like how Thor could have been, because Patty Jenkins was on to direct
Dark
the
World.
first Thor or Dark World.
I thought it was Dark World.
It
But
might
Dark
be,
World, yeah.
But either way, like it's what a god coming to Earth could have been like, as entertaining as it
she
could
probably
have been.
wanted to do her own thing, and
Yeah.
Marvel was like, no.
Yep.
But DC was embracing, and you can't take that away from them. I'm so happy because I was watching all these interviews with the director and stuff before, and I was like, man, this is gonna hurt so much if it flops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it's just getting received so
Yeah.
well. Just great job.
When they're like interrogating Steve Trevor, I knew they weren't going to do this, but they had the lasso of truth on him, and they were like, "What war? What war are you talking about?" And I really wanted him to just say, "World War One."
Yeah.
Be like, the second one's coming late in a few years.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Right.
Whoops. Need to edit that out, Patty.
Yeah, I really liked the time period, and how it, I feel like even though it is a superhero movie, it also feels like a war movie, and Captain America didn't feel that way. It was just purely superhero,
Yeah.
even though it was during World War II, but it actually felt like you were in the world, in World War One, and it, was just very, authentic.
Yeah, World War II and Captain America just happened to be going on at the time, whereas you felt like you were in the middle of
Yeah.
World War One with those guys.
Especially at No Man's Land.
Oh,
You felt
yeah.
like you
Yeah.
were walking there, in the trenches and on the battlefield. It was crazy.
Right. Because, like Marvel put and I enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong. Captain America I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I'm sorry. I know.
Don't backpedal.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, but I'm just saying it has a
You heard it here first, Marvel.
Yeah.
Josh hates you.
Well, I've been accused of worse things. No, but they put a filter on Captain America with the whole war thing. They kind of glamorize it a little bit. Yeah, they go
Yeah.
into some serious territory, but Wonder Woman was really you got one of the Scotsmen who's with them.
Yeah.
He's got PTSD
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
He has nightmares.
He folded, Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That was one of my favorite things. Is
Yeah.
that not favorite as in I loved
Yeah.
but
real.
when Sammy
real.
was talking about I don't want to be a soldier, I want to be an actor, but I'm not the right color.
Right.
It was like everybody's
Yeah.
fighting their own battles.
Message.
I was like, wow,
It was
that,
good.
yeah, it was
Yeah. It
message.
Message.
It did a really good job also showing the devastating effects that World War One had to just civilians and the soldiers,
Exactly.
having PTSD or shell shock back then, and just the terrible wounds that people experienced, and just how hard it was to actually deal with it and be in the trenches. It showed how miserable those people were in there, and I really like that aspect.
I think that's the difference between a Disney-led film and a Warner Brothers-led film.
Right.
Gotta be happy.
I mean, yeah, in Disney, everything's a little bit shinier,
Yeah.
And I understand that to a degree, but
They're trying to make it look like a comic book
Right.
come to life, and they're doing that.
Yeah.
and they
I
really
enjoy
are,
it.
and they
Yeah.
do it well. They
Yeah.
do it very, very well.
I own those movies. I'm proud
Right.
to have them.
Absolutely.
But,
I was telling Claire, I said, this is to me my favorite movie over. If I had to rank my top 3 comic films, it's now Wonder Woman, Winter Soldier, Batman Begins. I mean, for me at least.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
everybody liked The Dark Knight and all that stuff, but I mean, just from a pure comic book like origin standpoint, Begins was phenomenal. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, so Marvel's up there. You know, they do great things.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just it was quite a risk to not only, you know, have a female-led movie, show the horrors of war in a realistic manner, you
Have
know,
such a diverse cast.
diverse cast, address things like racism, show Muslim soldiers in the train area,
Yeah.
you know, and,
Yeah.
and just a million little tiny things in there. It was pretty cool.
When I think like Diana and the Chief, I can't was he just called Chief?
I think so.
You know, they were talking about like the Trail of Tears and stuff, and he was like by his people. I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
wow,
Ouch.
Takes a
right?
sword to his neck.
yeah,
He sleeps.
And that was a great learning moment for Diana too, because it's like, you know, this world is screwed up,
Mm-hmm.
It
you
is.
know, and
It's
I
not-
walked into something that, you know, her ideology is just, you know, questioned, you know, a lot during that movie. And
But that was her first indication that like, you know, these people took everything from him. Yet
Yeah.
he's still here doing, you know, even though
Right.
for it's might be for a profit, he's still
he's still in it.
on a
Still got something else
better
in it.
side than
Yeah.
what he could be fighting for.
And I like how they didn't make her perfect. That was
Right.
a big plus, you know, because yeah, of course you want to have her be this perfect person and all that, but she is just so like, because she was sheltered growing up, you know, she's like, take me to the war front,
Yeah.
I'll defeat Ares, and then all these guys will be happy,
Right,
And
yeah.
it's like, no, it's not. They're not all
Right.
following him. They're kind of bad people, you
Yeah.
know. So she just, you know, she learned a lot. But yeah, like going back to No Man's Land, what a great symbol she was to get up there on the battlefield,
Yeah.
take the bullets, and then everyone follows her lead. You know, that was inspiring. I mean, those guys in the trenches are like, "What's she doing?" And
Well,
I
even-
looked over at my wife. She was crying
Yeah.
during that scene, literally crying, tears down her face.
Right.
It was pretty powerful.
it is.
Well, even about that, like the majority of the soldiers didn't even come out right away. It was only like Steve and
Right.
Sammy and them, and you know, it was cool to see the loyalty in them. And you know, it was weird that like only until the gunfire was like kind of slowing down is when they came out. I was like, just get out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh yeah, man. She had the shield up.
Mhm.
It was just as
God,
powerful
she blocked
in the
that. She
trailer.
blocked that mortar, and it just blew up right
Oh
next to her.
man, just
I was like,
knocked
let's go.
it away. I know that was sweet.
Well, yeah, and when they
Yeah.
get to the little town, she hits that corner, and then
Yeah.
debris comes, and she just bats it out of her way and runs off. And it was.
Are you talking about when she like gets pushed into the wall? Because that was cool. It like exploded, and she just like bounced off the wall that
Right.
she was pushed into.
or
That was-
she gets that. Or they like throw the shotgun at her, and she just breaks it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah.
just does that pose. And it's like, oh, it's badass. And then
Yeah.
she does that slide kick. Like a
That
lot of
shield
people-
that shield slide always gets me.
That
Like,
was
Ever
cool.
since the trailer, I was like, oof.
It was really cool. There's a lot of slow mo, but it's done well, you know.
Yeah.
Because usually I hear that and I'm like, or see it, and it's like I don't know about that.
Right.
But yeah, it was done extremely well.
I also like that scene a lot because I thought it was very powerful because she just went across no man's land like nothing, and like people in those trenches would be in there for months. Like those battles would last for months, and they'd just be stuck there. And then just to see her like just go across it, like, hey, I can do this.
Totally
And it-
fearless.
yeah, and it was probably just also very like amazing for those people in those trenches to like see that happen, and they can go, and they're no longer stuck in there. And I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, she was so
Yeah,
ready to
fearless.
do something, you know. Besides, you know, wear these clothes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I want to. This is what I'm supposed to do. So
Yeah.
let me do it.
Right.
I think when they're in the town or in the village center or whatever, and they do the shield thing. She knocks. I got so hyped for that. Like as soon as he said shield, I was like, "Oh my god!
yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
I know.
god!" I thought I don't know. I thought she was just gonna like stab him through the wall, and then the entire thing came down. I was like,
Yeah.
"I think he got him."
Because that was a great
dead.
scene from the beginning of the
Yeah,
movie.
Steve
Yeah.
Trevor, he made note of that. He
Yeah.
saw it happen, and
Exactly.
he's like, all right, we can do that here, you know?
That was badass.
We're gonna do that with a door.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It took like 4 of them to launch
Right,
her, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
And then she just destroys the top of the
Oh,
tower.
man, the whole thing just...
Yeah. That was so
I kind of wanted to see the soldier's face just before.
right, that would
like,
be
"Oh."
cool.
Uh-oh. In the little dance scene they had, you know, there was time
Yeah.
for that. You know, he taught
In
her how
the
to
snow.
dance. Yeah, that was neat. You know, it was like a break from all the drama. It was like a little peaceful time here.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a drink, enjoying themselves. They
What's
had,
the-
they had a good day.
What's his name? Charlie was singing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the
First
first
time
time
he's-
in a long time.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
He's a good actor. He was in Train Spotting.
Yeah, that guy was really good.
He's good.
Yeah,
Very
and
believable too. I mean,
the Rundown he was in with The Rock.
oh yeah,
He was.
Oh, yeah.
he was a
Way back
pilot.
in
That
the day,
one.
that's right.
That
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that was
That's
a
a
long
good
time
movie.
ago.
I
Another
saw
show.
it once.
We'll do the Rundown
Yeah,
cast.
right there.
Oh yeah, I'm busy.
Going back though, when they were on the way, when they were leaving the mascara, that scene where they're sleeping together.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, just the dialogue in that was hilarious. You
Yeah.
know, she was very almost Vulcan
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
her, explanation or that she understands, biological, and that whole thing. And he's sitting there thinking, she's beautiful, but what a mood kill. You can just get that vibe. It was hilarious.
She's like, you don't sleep with women. He's like, no, I do. That was it, the whole the camouflage, whatever it was, some shield around the island.
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
that was neat because you're like, how did he? I guess anybody can come in. So
Do we know if that was is that supposed to be the Bermuda Triangle?
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know
like
the location.
be,
there wasn't really an
you
explanation.
You
It
see
was
a bunch
just,
of planes down or something. Maybe like Amelia Earhart on the field, or that might have been before.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, it was neat how the German, they went through the other side and the Germans are right there,
Yeah.
and they could see the plane in the water, and then they come through, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So it just makes me wonder, like, has this ever happened before?
Right.
yeah.
Because you would think it would just block it or redirect, but no, you can just go right into the island. You just got to find it.
Yeah.
Or
Right away.
was that just because it was time?
Or
Ares
is maybe
had built up
Oh,
enough.
right.
that
Ooh,
was
like he
able
opened-
to, right.
Maybe he opened up the
Open that portal
Or
up, so to
something.
speak.
or would Zeus
you know?
maybe do that? I mean,
because he knew
Yeah.
he knew it was coming, and then he was
because
like,
he made her for that purpose. He probably knew of, and I like how they don't really, or concrete, that's like an up in the air, you can take however you
It's
want.
open to interpretation,
Yeah,
which is kind of
exactly,
cool. But
yeah.
it wasn't done though to the point where it was just kind of a throwaway. I mean, it was a pretty neat reveal the way they just were able to get in and out.
What'd you think about the misdirect of the villain? Because we all thought Ares was the Ludendorff.
Ludendorff.
Yeah, Ludendorff, played by Danny Houston. He was in X-Men Wolverine.
Yes.
Yep. And he was in
Good actor.
Yeah,
the Flashpoint Paradox,
Right.
the movie.
that's right.
I mean, he was General Lane, so it wasn't really like a big
Yeah.
role,
But
but
he's got
still.
a great voice.
Because I just watched it yesterday, I was like, "This sounds. Oh, that must be."
It's him.
Yeah.
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 I actually had a feeling it was the British guy throughout the whole thing.
Did
Was the
ya?
villain. Yeah, I really doubted it was Ludendorff.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed a little bit too cut and dry. That
Yeah.
of course he would be Ares because he's in charge of a lot, but like I just thought that was a little too easy for him to be the villain. Like obviously he's terrible,
Right.
but
And he's actually a real general, like in that
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah,
which
they
I'm
used
like,
a historical figure, which
Yeah.
is neat.
but my confusion was like, I would have thought he was, but that blue chemical thing he inhaled.
yeah, I
She
thought
said-
it was the doctor that was the villain, not
yeah.
Dr. Poison,
yeah.
Two Face.
That was a cool villain. I think that's from the comics, Dr. Poison. I think.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming the whole time because when Ares got cast, they made a big deal about it,
Oh no.
and it was that guy, and I was like, "Oh, that's Lupin from Harry Potter." And then like the movie started, and they were alluding that Ludendorff was. I was like, "Oh, damn it!
Oh man, I'm glad I didn't.
There
remember
goes the
that.
twist."
Yeah.
But I mean,
Um,
who was the general then?
Ludendorff.
What was- Yeah, because he was inhaling that stuff. She said, "Build your strength."
So he was probably just I don't know.
He
Probably
was just a normal general guy who
Yeah.
just happened to be.
So it was like a steroid type.
That's
of
really
thing.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that gas.
No, he was
kinda
just
gave
and it was
him-
just a red herring too. It was just like
And then the color of the gas is blue. Ares' armor has always been like a dark blue, and so it had that little bit of a tease to it. But in hindsight, it does make sense that it was the British guy because he was the one who says, "All right, I support you going," and who's kind of driving them there
when
secretly.
he was the peacekeeper guy
Yeah.
or whatever.
And he's kind of a big
He's like,
actor.
they wouldn't expect
you don't put a big actor in a little part like that. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
have a purpose. I mean, I know he's not like huge actor, but
He was Lupin.
He was also the only man not to like question Wonder Woman like everyone else did.
Right.
And that like first scene with him.
Well, the way he looked at her when
Yeah.
when she walked in, like I felt like there was something going
Yeah.
on.
Because he just like he didn't think it was that weird she was there, and if only he was even grateful because he was able to talk. Like
Yeah.
he was the only one that was like, "Why is this woman here?" Like,
Everyone else is freaking out.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a woman in here.
Right.
Ugh. Yeah, here I am just watching the movie like this is a good movie, popcorn. Food. Like you guys broke it down. Yeah. I didn't even see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was
that-
really hoping he'd be a good guy. I was
Right,
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy's cool.
That's why I'm starting to try and stay away from like articles and trailers and stuff because,
I tried. Maybe
You know.
maybe I did a good job because I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
but
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, I don't know. That kind of didn't ruin the movie for me, but it
No.
ruined the twist, which
Yeah.
kind of sucked. But whatever.
But it was a cool reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because when she stabbed Ludendorff, it was like that's it. Like
Yeah.
I was expecting like a big explosion of energy and all this
Nothing.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of that, when she stabs him and then she goes to like grab her sword to get the real Ares, it was just a weird
cut.
like like she didn't have the sword and then she just like hopped back down and she had it. I was like,
Yeah, I
what
thought
was
that
the
was
point of
Like, I
that?
thought that was pretty awkward too.
It was like either show her like getting it and then he like reaches up and pulls her down or something. But it was just so I was like okay,
Right.
saved you like 5 seconds, I guess.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, this is like a Superman claws type thing, you know, like how Kent would go change in a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
Her armor appears out of nowhere. She's wearing that blue dress. Clearly, her armor's not underneath it, but then it's there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
She did the spin.
right?
Yeah. I forgot about
Yeah. Would they? Did she spin in the comics to turn into
No.
Wonder Woman? No. Okay, that was just a
Purely TV
70s
show.
that was a
thing.
visual thing for the 70s show.
70s
yeah.
are like, we got nothing. Let's just spin her. Okay, sounds good.
And if she did in the comics, it had to have been ages ago when I didn't even read it. At all, so I don't know.
Back when I don't know, I can't remember his name. We like when before the movie started, there was like a history of Wonder Woman. You're talking about like the lasso of truth and stuff like that. And I guess there was some guy like in the early stages of Wonder Woman saying that it promotes lesbianism in like the youth because she lived on a all female. And I was like, oh yeah, shut up, dude.
Yeah. Moron.
So
It's like, I mean, he obviously didn't really read the comics or anything. So, I mean, it is always about, you're always going to have someone who's offended about something.
right.
So I'm really glad
course.
that made me even more, excited to see the movie again. I'm like, just kick everybody's ass, please. Please.
There's so many people in our world I'd love to put on the island right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go get them. Now, I did hear something about the New 52, like the inspiration about this whole movie. Is it more rebirth, or is it probably too soon to be?
No, it's really a big blend of the George Perez and then some of the New 52. Because, while the New 52 has been kind of written off as a failure for DC, there were a few bright spots in there. Green Lantern, Batman,
Sure.
Wonder Woman, those were some bright spots for the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman would agree, too, because they went out of their way to really not alter their big tier heroes very much in the New 52, whereas with a bunch of other people, they just went nuts.
Make it more interesting.
Right,
Try
so... but yeah, I mean, the ice cream scene
Yeah, I was gonna say,
was a
say
direct nod to the New 52 comics.
Was it?
Mhm.
Where she tries it for the first time and she just couldn't be happier. It's like the best thing she's ever seen
You
in
should
her
be
life.
proud.
Yeah,
Well,
I know, right? It
in the
was great.
comics, she's
It's
like
the same-
she's
yeah.
like full outfit and she's got her sword. She's like, you should be very proud of this achievement. And the guy's like, oh,
Yeah, just hilarious. So that was a cool comic nod on that one. That was
and they
pretty
did it
sweet.
in the Justice League War animated movie too.
Yep.
So that was cool to see. Also, when they like lock those guys in the room and Dr. Poison throws in that bomb thing and the guy throws in the mask and he was like, or she was like, the mask isn't going to help. And then he's like, they don't know that. And they like did that laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that was really campy, but it was kind of funny.
It
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, because
So many cool moments. When Steve he tells her, I'm going to take you to the front line. She's like, are you telling me the truth? Because he's a spy.
Yeah.
He's like, he wraps the lasso around
Yeah.
his wrist. And he's like, I'm taking you to the front.
That's a
Probably
bad
gonna
idea.
die.
Right. Yeah.
I'm so scared. I don't know, whatever he said. But
yeah.
it was, man, the cast was great. Who was the lady they met in town as secretary?
Etta Candy,
Yeah,
she was funny.
she was.
She was in the original Office,
Oh,
like
okay.
the British Office. She played.
She got good comedic timing. And all
yeah,
that.
she played Pam's character.
Okay, that's cool.
That's her
Mm-hmm.
That's
in
different.
real life.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay.
It was like 10 years ago.
That's our IMDb picture.
Yeah, she was in Shaun of the Dead too.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was dating the guy who was in love with Sean's girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, okay.
She's like
Sure.
the actress.
Gotcha.
And for none of our listeners, she was in Garfield.
Oh, really?
Just throwing like a cricket noise there.
The Garfield
Exactly.
universe there?
A tale of whatever. I don't even
Tale
know.
of who cares.
Right, a tale of who gives a shit. Tale of two kitties.
Oh, like that one thing. That's funny.
Gross. God, Billy Connolly was in it. He's great.
Well,
let's
yeah,
get
I
away
remem-
from that.
Yeah,
we all need paychecks.
we'll review
right?
that movie.
We all need paychecks. That's exactly what
That's
they're
what
thinking.
Bill Murray thought.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sign up for 2.
So back to Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
I think Chris Pine signed on for a multi-picture deal.
That's my other question.
So I was thinking like as soon as like, you know, he blew up, which kind of sucked, but it was a cool scene. It reminded me a lot of Steve Rogers, Captain America, the
Me
whole
too.
Even though it wasn't as forced as Steve Rogers,
Yeah.
like there's a problem with that in that Marvel movie to me. It's
Yeah.
like, I gotta take her down. You want to try and land it all? Or
No, it's all
scuff it up in
ice.
water?
Right.
It's all ice.
Ah!
Yeah, exactly. You can just level it and then just like skid across the ice.
You know, there's an airport like a little bit over this way. Like, no, I gotta go.
Are we supposed to go on a date? Okay, bye.
That's why he crashed it. He didn't want to go.
I'm scared.
I can't dance.
Dance at all.
The diamond iceberg.
But what I was thinking was they could literally just recast him, give him a haircut, and then just make him a descendant of Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be Steve though, would he?
They could name him
Trevor
Steve Trevor.
Jr..
Yeah, Steve. I was named after my grandfather.
Oh, I guess if they do modern day. I didn't think
Exactly.
about that. Okay. I was thinking if they go to like World War II.
no,
That's
no,
gonna
no.
be really weird.
No. Just like
Like I'm his
Like-
twin brother, Steve Jr. Like,
yeah, like in
What's his name,
Smallville, they had Jimmy Olsen, and then you find out that's not his real name, and then the real Jimmy Olsen was at like the series finale,
oh my gosh.
and it was the same actor.
They made a
He's
mistake.
like, it was my cousin.
Stupid. Yeah, well, and they pulled a bail though too from Rises. You didn't actually see him. You know what I mean? Like they showed the moment where he puts a gun back there.
Yeah.
It flies up, then blows up. So
Yeah,
who
I
knows?
guess, but
I mean,
I don't know. That'd be kind of cheap.
I know
To me.
but he himself, and it was probably a misdirect. You know, he said, "I would like to do this with my character in the second one."
He could be Wonder Man. Why isn't there a Wonder Man?
Yeah.
Sexist.
There
No.
is in Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
There is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wait.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Who cares?
It's Captain
'Cause-
Marvel, right? Which is now a
What? No,
female.
Captain Marvel's always been a female.
Oh, okay. I guess I thought they changed the gender.
Captain Marvel.
back.
DC Captain Marvel.
DC Captain Marvel is Shazam.
Oh, okay.
And then, they named it, they just stuck with Shazam because obviously, copyright or whatever, they were probably going to sue.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he looks hella stupid.
So,
He looks like a member of the Wonder Woman fan club.
Mhm.
He's like, I go to the gym.
I don't know if he was a 70s creation.
It probably was.
Or what happened there.
70s Abomination, maybe.
Yeah, they changed an
What is that?
Abomination.
What was that on his...
We're looking at a Wonder Man picture for
there. What is that?
everyone listening.
What is that supposed to be? It's like a satchel.
This is a 90s picture, obviously, because it's got the overdone pouch
Yeah.
thing. And
It's like, what is in there?
yeah, it's just,
Trinkets.
I got candy.
yeah, he was created in 1964. First appeared in the Avengers #9.
Did he die immediately?
In the list of the top 50 Avengers, he was ranked 38th.
Yeah.
The bottom 12.
All right.
You know what I mean?
He made it. He made the cut.
He made the cut.
Could you see that in the 60s? Like, guys, Wonder Woman, maybe not selling too well. What about Wonder Man? What do you think? Good idea.
But wait, I thought DC copied off Marvel. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Plot thickens.
Mhm.
Nope.
They copied Deathstroke from Deadpool. Deadpool came first. No.
That
Deathstroke came first.
Deathstroke. Yep. Put it down. What other Easter eggs did you spot in this movie?
They said there were several, and I only caught like prior references that I'd like the ice cream thing, and little tiny things like that I'd seen before.
Mhm.
So
They threw in a lot of numbers, like random numbers, like Steve Trevor's identification number as a soldier. That could have been
yeah,
like a comic book
maybe.
issue or something. And then Etta was talking about Wonder Woman when she was trying on outfits, and she's like, "Oh, she's on outfit number 226." And I was
Yeah,
like,
I was trying to wonder, did something happen
like
in
issue
an episode
226
or something, or an issue? Yeah.
Issue? Oh, I bet.
Oh, something I saw was like in the original series, she was undercover as like Steve Trevor's secretary. So when he said that in the movie,
Well, and
it
the
was-
glasses too.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
would wear
Mhm.
in the
Which
comics.
they got rid of those quick. I was like, man, well, I just got used to this. This is kind of a cool female Clark Kent type
Yeah.
of thing. Even though she's like, I'm Diana,
Prince.
yeah. Well, he said, I'm Diana, Princess Diana or
Mhm.
whatever. And he's like, Prince.
I thought that was always like her given name, Diana Prince, but I guess
I don't know if
he
it was.
gave her the name. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah. Yep. She used to work at the Louvre Museum in Paris. So,
Ooh,
That was the opening, right?
Big-
that was the opening.
yeah, and the end. But big thing, can she fly? Because like,
Yes, she can.
because I don't know, because it still hasn't been confirmed.
I think Rebirth confirmed it, didn't they?
No, not like just
In
in
the
the
movie
movies,
cinematic?
in the
right,
universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in Batman vs Superman, she just leaped.
She can leap for sure, yeah. we know that.
At the end, it was like a big leap in slow mo. So I was like, "Is she fly? Is she controlling this?"
Well, and at the end of the movie, she's just floating there too.
But I was thinking about that. Like, is it Ares like doing some sort of like? Is it the force around him like lifting her up? You know,
Oh,
is she
I
flying
see.
on her own?
It's probably like she probably has the ability to do anything.
Wasn't she
She's
standing
just
on
learning.
top of her invisible airplane? Isn't that one?
Yeah, she climbed up.
No.
Speaking of that, I think Patty Jenkins said she would like that in the sequel because they're going to do a contemporary take, a modern.
With what they've done in the first movie, I'm going to give her a lot of trust on this
Yeah.
one. But I'm going to have to really be hesitant.
No,
Artemis is in it, which
Oh,
she
yeah.
became Wonder Woman for a short time in the 90s.
I'm gonna say no to the invisible plant. Not because
Yeah.
like, it's just because
It'd be easy
there are
to
a lot
shoot. You
there-
just point to the sky like it's right
It's the
there.
same reason that Superman doesn't change in a phone booth anymore. It's the same reason that Batman's suit isn't like that lighter blue. It's because, things that worked back then probably aren't going to work in the modern times,
Yeah.
Like an invisible jet might just, it would throw me off a bit. Like it wouldn't make me hate a movie, but I'd just be like, I don't know. That just
Yeah,
kinda,
we don't want to get too campy with this.
Yeah.
Is it in the new comics at all?
No.
It's not.
No.
Okay. So
No,
maybe
there's-
she can. Maybe that's why they gave her the
And
ability
it
to
hasn't
fly.
been in the comics in years
Yeah.
and years and years and years and years. The War is Truth line came directly from the comic books. 2009's Wonder Woman 37. Dr. Poison, of course. The Superman alley scene. And Zack
Ares-
Snyder's cameo. There's the actual picture of it.
Oh yeah, that was what was released like a few years ago.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh, I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But that's all that's listed here. So
I got it. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
I was gonna say Ares was he was a villain in Injustice, the first one, and it seemed like an odd choice. So they should have like just waited until this one to put him in,
right.
maybe.
It's like he's right here.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I think they were just looking for all the heroes they had in it and who's their main villains. Let's have a counter to the hero.
But yeah, because they had like 10 Batman characters,
Right.
and people were like, "All right,
We get it.
enough."
Yeah, I liked how he assembled his armor in the end, and then he would form it with his. You grab the helmet so you could see out of it, and I was like, "That's badass."
And he's had cool looking armor, in the comics
Yeah.
forever and stuff, and they really translated that pretty well on
And those like
screen.
makeshift swords that he was.
Yeah.
That was neat. Yeah,
Creating.
well, and he destroyed the cool sword she had. That was
Yeah.
supposed to be the God Killer, right?
but she's the God Killer,
Yeah,
yeah.
we knew. Yeah, I liked how her mom. That whole relationship was great. It was. She didn't want to see her go, but she knew she, was not going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then she always kept telling her like, "This world doesn't deserve you."
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool.
When she
And
said,
she was right.
yeah, right.
when she said, "You may never return," is that like I won't allow you to return, or you?
She may die.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So she
so
wasn't.
she's not banished from.
She's not banished. It was there's a chance you can't return
Yeah.
or you won't be able to. It wasn't a banishment.
So maybe that's a sequel thing. Maybe she goes back for a while.
I think they're gonna have more with the Mascara.
Justice League, I think, showed some battles on the island. I thought they did.
They showed the Amazons fighting. I don't know if it was on the island.
Also, maybe they
looked
left
like
the island to help out or whatever.
yeah. If you look, if you
That's
look in the
cool.
trailer, it looked like it was on
Mhm.
whatever plane, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see to what that is because I guess they were hinting that it was an old war, an old battle like between the Amazons and the Parademons. 'Cause, like, they've been
so
there
it could just be
before.
a retelling.
Yeah, so
flashback.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all speculation, of course, because
Right. Well, it makes you wonder. Like, does she have to return the island to stay young? or is it just part of her makeup?
No, I think it's just part of her makeup. I
She's
mean,
clay.
she's legit a goddess.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I don't think
Right.
she has much to worry about.
That would have been a cool visual, but probably hard to pull off. Well,
Yeah.
actually, going back, did they retell when it? She retold the origin of everything. Did they show her form her out of clay, or did it just?
No.
It didn't. That would have been cool. I think they did that in the animated movie, maybe the
Animated?
a Wonder Woman animated movie they made like
Oh, I still haven't seen
a year or
that.
two back. Yeah, I think it got received pretty well.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So what do you guys? For the sequel, would you like it to be present day, or would you like World War II? Check that out.
I'd probably go for World War II, maybe for like half the movie, and then if they can transition into modern day or something. I don't know.
She gets frozen and then brought back, and
Yeah,
never mind.
100%
That's
not.
Captain America.
And I mean, if he's signed on for a multi-picture deal, it's going to be interesting to see because they really told that entire story front to back in this film. So I'm curious as to what that will look like. But yeah, I mean, obviously she's been around for a long time, so it would be interesting to see her through the eras, up to present day, because we're going to see her in the Justice League movies.
Can you imagine her in like Vietnam? That'd be so cool.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I think Vietnam would be an interesting
Yeah.
war to
I wonder if they would go because that war's got so many gray areas versus one
Right.
and two. I wonder if like it would probably have to be like I don't know. You could put much humor in it. I don't know. Maybe you could. That's interesting. I mean, it's wishful thinking. That would have been
Have a good
easy to
soundtrack for
win.
sure.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Possibilities are endless, I mean, but World War II would be cool, but you're going to see that Captain America flag being thrown, people thinking they're going to copy it or something. So,
Yeah.
Which is why they went with one. And the funny thing is, I think the same critics were like, "Why are you going to one? Why didn't you go two?"
they would have
Whoa.
criticized it then. Yeah, there's a no-win scenario. Because in the comic origins, it was World War II. It wasn't World War One, where she met Steve Trevor and the
So they
whole thing. So
refreshed it a little bit.
yeah, which I was completely fine with, only because it is so unique.
I like hardly ever see that period.
You hardly ever see
Yeah.
that. Period.
But I mean, also, you don't want a movie to be exactly like the comics because then you'd be like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Like, and I mean,
Right.
BVS wasn't like any one comic. It adapted a
It
lot
had
of
10 different,
Yeah, exactly.
which I thought was great,
Mhm.
and yeah, she was one of the coolest parts of BVS. That, and then Batman, right before he rescues Martha,
Right.
that fight where he's just taken down.
And then you
ton
won't
of bad
say
guys.
this on when we're live, but you every scene of Lex Luthor is what you really love.
Those were you know what? What a great performance. Yeah, 5 suicide attempts later, I'm fine.
Oh.
So, it's no big deal.
Only 5. I got
Wow.
No.
No, I mean,
No.
that's harsh, obviously. But,
I'm hoping for the
yeah.
dad to show up, the real Lex Luthor.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm hoping for too, or at least
I don't think that's where they're
going
I know.
forward, maybe he's going to be a little less
He
on
is.
the quirky side.
That's what they're doing. He's because he had that run in with Steppenwolf at the end or in the Ultimate
Yeah.
Edition.
So it changes like
And so
brain
now-
makeup. So he's
Yeah,
like,
because he's
almost
seen all this.
sophisticated
He's
now.
seen all this like information, and now he's not really like dead inside, but he's like, ooh,
Cold,
like, yeah,
more,
yeah.
and you know what? That's Lex Luthor. So if that's the case, I'm totally fine because I do like him as an actor. I mean, it's not him; it was the role and how he.
because do you know the
portrayed that.
history of Lex Luthor? Like how he did have like the orange hair to start out with, and he was just like a mad scientist or whatever before he was like a big billionaire,
Businessman,
and they
yeah.
retconned him like I don't know 10 years later or whatever. So he was kind of like what Jesse Eisenberg was doing, and then now they're putting him on his own journey, which I don't know. I appreciate it, but I
90s
still understand.
brought him back with the red hair for a while and stuff, but that was an interesting time.
Yeah,
Do you guys think this will make $1 billion?
Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. I don't know.
Wonder Woman.
The Luthor Solar
Yeah.
movie, a solo movie.
The
yeah.
Lutherverse.
Yeah, Lutherverse.
It's just him in one room.
It's just- that's
It's
just
really
it.
disturbing. Yeah.
Boys.
He's signing contracts and talking to the board. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be really interesting.
Making some
Granny Peach tea.
I think this will push it for sure. I mean, I'm interested to see the international box office.
Because it's
knowing
banned in one country for
it's
sure.
banned. Yeah, it is.
Is that because I read somewhere that it wasn't, that was just like
Really?
it might be banned.
It was banned, and I don't remember where.
Is it Lebanon?
It was Lebanon. Yeah, they
Because
banned
like I
war
saw
with
that,
Israel.
and then like a few hours, and then
Yeah.
a few hours later, it said like it wasn't. It was just being pushed to be banned. So I don't know if I don't know what
that
to
could
believe,
be. But I did see that it was, but again, you can't always believe.
and I don't think it's because she's Israeli. I think it's because she's a Zionist.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
I don't really either.
It's an older religion, but it's it has basic elements of Christianity, like good versus evil and stuff like that, but it's not Christianity at the same time.
But it's distant from Scientology.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's not like
She's
Scientology.
forgiven.
It's a pretty older religion.
Really? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, the film will not be shown in Lebanon following a decision made by the Ministry of Economy and Trade,
Okay.
which said in a statement that it has taken all necessary action to ban the film starring the Israeli actress.
Well, it sucks to be them. 'Cause
Well, I mean,
see this.
I don't feel like Lebanon is a huge box office.
Well, I was going to
for-
say, I'm not really concerned about,
$12.
but what is going to be interesting to me is how will some of those other larger markets, the China, the Japan, are they ready for female?
'Cause it's a woman. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, we take for granted, even though we still have a long ways to go in feminism, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we are light years ahead of a lot of other places on the planet, and so how will that fare overseas? I don't know, but domestically, I think it's going to make just a crap ton of money. So it's going to be good.
I don't think it comes out for a lot of countries until like the 20th, 27th maybe of June.
Yeah.
So we've got a while to figure it out.
Well,
but
you need movies like this to kind of show people's true colors. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we're all cool now," and
Right. And it makes
Female-driven
$7
movie?
and
Yeah.
19
well, now they're
cents,
doing
right?
the woman only screening at
in Austin.
in Austin, and people are going nuts. People are so pissed.
We talked about it on the
Yeah.
show last
Really?
week, and it was
Okay.
hilarious. I mean, the Austin mayor, a guy wrote to the Austin mayor, freaking out, talking about just how terrible it was,
He's
and
just like, shut up.
yeah, and the Austin mayor was hilarious because he's like, "I'm really concerned someone has hacked your email account." And, it was just the responses on the web,
yeah,
brilliant, brilliant response, and
Well, and someone like on the Facebook page of the theater that's doing it, they're like, "Are you going to do a men only screening of like the Expendables?" And they're like, "Nope,
yeah,
that's stupid."
Probably most of the crowd was men in those movies.
Yeah.
Well, and they made the joke, the theater themselves did, to say, well, while we didn't do any male screening only, we did show the Entourage a few years back, so it's like, that was just their own kind of way of saying,
Well, and
show
then
off.
Joss Whedon tweeted, he was like, "I saw a private screening of it, so it was male only, so it happened, and it was delightful."
That's awesome.
Claire, I don't know if you're big into heroes or whatever, but I mean, this goes for anybody. But what other characters would you like to see? You got like Black Widow. Mm-hmm. I mean, to have a movie, because I think this is going to open doors for sure for that.
In any universe, like in either DC or Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not like a huge comic book follower, but like one of the reasons I love the first Captain America movie so much is because of Peggy.
Yep.
Yeah. And
She's
so
good.
I think that's probably my second favorite superhero movie, mainly because of her. So I don't know. I think any really female-led movie
Well,
is
Joss
important.
Whedon's doing the Batgirl
Yeah.
film.
So
Yeah, people are really
I
happy
think
about
just
that.
if there's even just
am.
another one,
I am
think-
too, but like, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're
It's my
fine.
bad.
No, yeah, because I think this is just Wonder Woman alone is going to be really good for like just like even little girls to see someone like that in that
yeah.
position. Because like growing up, I've never had seen something
Right.
like that, and that like because she's strong, like she's compassionate, she shows like care for everyone,
Mhm.
Sure.
and so I think that'll be a good role model to have that like
Yeah.
I never saw in a movie before.
Sure.
I read that it'd be good for little boys too, just to
Yeah.
see,
Well, for sure. Yeah.
just anybody in that position of power.
Yeah.
And,
So-
they've attempted this before. I think back in the day we had Supergirl come out and didn't do well. Elektra. Not sure what else there
Catwoman.
was. Oh God, they weren't even trying with that
No.
one. They're like, let's just market it.
They sat down and they were like, "This looks like a good movie. Let's
Yeah.
release it."
All someone did
Oscar-winning
was
Halle Berry.
they went to the studio and said, Halle Berry, Catwoman outfit. And sexism took over
Yeah.
Yeah.
and said, yeah, she's going to be hot. And so they made the freaking movie and it was terrible, but
And it was like, more sexualized.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Exactly.
And the main, I think, thing in that movie was cosmetics or something. The battle over cosmetics.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously?
Right.
I don't remember anything from that movie.
I know,
we
we did
saw
go to it,
We went to it in Minnesota because like I don't know. I thought Catwoman was
I was
cool.
just like,
'cause
Catwoman's Halle Berry. She just won an Oscar.
Yeah.
This can't be bad.
Oh, whoops, it is.
Oh my god, it was horrible.
So I know Patty Jenkins talked a little bit about how people were complaining about Wonder Woman's outfit still. You know, as a woman, did you feel like it was too sexual?
I think it can be perceived that way, but I also don't at the same time. Compared to how other people have been sexualized in those kind of movies, this wasn't that bad, I think.
It's also like if you got a lot of hang-ups, sure.
Well,
like,
right. If you're already a closet perv anyway, yeah, you're going to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But she herself said, you know, there's nothing wrong with that outfit, you know,
Yeah.
and girls growing up, they like to play princess and they like those kinds of things. And so for someone to take it there, she was kind of the same way. That's their problem if they take it there. You know, I didn't find the outfit at all to be distracting in any way because she carried herself in a non-sexualized manner,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that's why it wasn't either, too.
Right.
And it
Well,
wasn't
yeah.
like actively trying to like enhance any features either.
Right.
It was just, this is who she is and that's how she's dressing. And it's
Right.
just,
Well, it's how all the Amazonian,
Amazonians, yeah.
like that's how all them.
True, they don't wear
dress.
pants.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we got to kick
Because I mean,
people. And,
well,
Well, right,
it
and
makes
I
them-
don't either.
Yeah.
You know, so
I do it, and I'm arrested. so.
right, that's what happens. But
No, and like they got to be flexible. They got to be aerodynamic if they're going to pull off the moves that they did. So, I don't know.
yeah,
Right.
because it's in that
People-
context. I think if they didn't maybe show the island and how they were dressed, they'd be like, "Whoa, why?" But given it's armor based, I think that really helps. You know,
yeah,
It's-
I think so too. I think just having it be very just armor
Yeah,
and not
right.
just some like spandex
Right.
thing.
right. Like
I
Linda
think
Carter,
that makes a
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love the color palette. You know, they're embracing it. You know, they don't have stars on it, but
That's
I mean,
another thing I noticed.
someone complained about that. A conservative group
of course.
that they weren't wearing the blue and white star.
Well, I heard
She's
that,
never been
yeah.
about it. She's never
Yeah,
been that.
right.
That was a review I saw. It was like Wonder Woman is less American than she's ever been. It's like, well, she's not American, so
Right.
congrats, man.
Please
What do you think
shut
the
up.
island-
You wrote
Right.
it. Imagine going to journalism school to write an article like that.
Yeah.
You just wrote
Stupid.
an obvious observation, but
Off the coast of Florida.
What about the color? I was thinking about, because like everybody says, you know, BVS was really dark, and like Zack Snyder likes to
Right.
turn down whatever, like to make it darker. I looked at her outfit. It looks the same as it did in BVS. So I think that's just the outfit.
Right.
And
Just looks brighter. Like it looks like you can tell the colors more in
Yeah,
this one. 'Cause
I mean-
it's in brighter. It's a different.
well, it's also not just
Yeah.
at night, because we only saw her at night in BVS.
Yeah, that's
true.
So I don't know. People are kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think the filter of the movie makes a difference too.
I like
'cause
how
I
it
noticed
popped.
that.
Yeah. All right. And it looked like it was. I think it looked like it was battle tested already. Like it
Yeah.
had been worn, which they didn't really go into. Who wears this outfit? Clearly, probably wasn't made for her because she was a kid. You know, they weren't going to know her size or anything. Fits everybody.
Right. One
Just
size
work your
fits
ass
all.
off on
Yeah.
these swords and you'll be fine. But yeah, the lasso. I mean, all that was cool. That effect. The guy taking the cyanide and
Oh, yeah.
that was interesting. Because she didn't know what it was.
Yeah, she's like, he's dead. She didn't understand why.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell me what you're working for. He's like, but I like how Chris Penn really did a
Pine,
Pine. Why did I say
Pike,
Penn?
I'm
Pen,
thinking Star
Pike.
Trek, Pine, you know.
I did.
Yes!
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris, yeah.
Well, you know, because Robin Wright was married to Sean Penn, and I thought they had a kid.
Yeah. Sure.
Good save, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, I liked how, as Steve Trevor, when he had the lasso around him, he was fighting it, and he was really,
Yeah.
He
he's
looked
really
constipated.
right. He's just really showing like the effect on somebody.
Right.
It wasn't like they throw it around. And he was like, "I'm a spy," and
Right.
I have a
you're
nightlight.
pretty, and
Yeah, it wasn't just a cheesy,
Yeah.
you know, automatic truth teller, you know. I mean, he was trying as hard as he could, and it just didn't go. So, you know.
because he started saying things, and he goes, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He was really good in the movie.
He was really good.
I was glad too, because like I said, I really thought, you know, it'd be overshadowed just a little bit, but
Yeah.
because the trailers, you weren't sure, you know, but it was just perfect. I mean, really great movie.
Well, I liked how that art direction where she gets, I think, Ares or whatever throws her or something, and she kind of has like the,
Oh yeah.
and she can't
She's
hear.
like, Ma.
And then he's
Yeah.
talking to her, and you're like, "Oh man, what's he
yeah.
saying?" And then,
And then they show it.
right,
Yeah.
because you have an idea what he's doing. And then I
Yeah.
think what gives away finally is he gives her his watch. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh crap. And then she somehow was able to recount what he said.
Yeah.
It's
later
something
on.
to when she focuses, like, because she turned her head up a lot to, like, pray to the gods. So when she did that, I think it, like, I don't know, she went back and she was able to hear it or something. I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah.
That kind of confused me, but I was at the same time
yeah.
I was like, cool. Now we know what it would. Now we know what he
It's
said.
not
was a
all
cool nod,
concrete.
yeah.
I think that's what's nice about it. It's not all concrete. You can kind of perceive it however you want. Maybe Dr. Poison will be back if they do a
Maybe.
Oh yeah, because we didn't really see anything. We didn't
yeah.
see her
Well,
after.
I think she did good. She's actually like I think she's a French actress.
Spanish.
Spain. Okay. Shows what I know. Jeez.
I cheated with IMDb earlier
Did
before
ya?
the show. That's all.
But
Otherwise, I
she's-
wouldn't have known.
I don't know if she was dubbed,
Yeah.
but man, I only found one interview of her, and I mean, she can speak English, but it's very hard for her to do it. So I was just curious, like, I wonder if they dubbed her at all.
Right.
She did great
Yeah.
though. I thought her performance was great, and
Yeah.
I like that little mask thing.
And
You
even
know?
when it came off, I mean, it was like, wow. I mean, that was great makeup. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looked, it looked good.
For sure.
I just, one thing, if I want to plug something, it's the Wonder Woman Annual just came out, the comic. It's got a series of 3 or 4 short stories in it. And each of these stories encapsulates who that character is. And I'd read this before the movie. What I saw in the movie is the exact same thing I read in this book. So, if you get a chance, go to your local comic shop, check it out, or buy it off Comixology. But Wonder Woman Rebirth Annual #1, check it out. It's pretty
great.
sweet.
Nice.
Yep.
I'd like to plug Injustice 2 just came out like a couple weeks ago. And what they do, they have a gear system. So, like, the more you play, the more gear you get for certain characters. And they have a multiverse system where, like, that's where you can get, epic gear, stuff like that. And Monday, they started a Wonder Woman movie thing. So you can get her entire movie outfit for
Sweet.
Oh,
that character.
nice.
And,
Why
and
haven't I bought that game?
yeah. Yeah. And
I
like,
had the first one.
I think it lasts for another couple days. So go get it while
Oh, okay.
you can. But yeah, it's really cool.
Does she voice it at all?
No, I don't think they're going to
Okay.
go for that this time. I think it's all going to be gear based.
'Cause I think it's Steve Amell voiced the
He did
Arrow,
the
didn't he?
Arrow.
in the
Skin,
Injustice
first
in
one,
the first one, yeah.
That's. I mean, hey, the skin's still fine.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
armor. I love the armor look. I think that's the
And
best.
also, speaking of Wonder Woman in Injustice, don't look to her. This is for the listeners. Don't look to her for point of reference because everybody hates her in that universe, in the Injustice universe.
Oh,
Because
do they
she's, yeah, because she's on Superman's side, and
we know what happened there.
yeah, and she's very, very much evil and just like doesn't want to listen to reason at all. So
look at Flashpoint. I mean, she decapitated Aquaman's.
yeah, there are a lot of
I don't
people.
know her name.
Mara.
Mara.
There are a lot of people calling Wonder Woman colorful names because of her character in
Yeah.
Injustice. And first off, it's like a video game, so just relax a little, maybe.
Well, the Injustice universe has been extremely unique and very interesting, to read, but it is not the traditional take on any of these characters in any way, shape, or form.
It's just kind of like
Yeah.
a have fun with it type of
Yeah,
thing.
this is like, what if?
Because even in the first one, like they brought in like the regular, like the canon superheroes, but they were still just side characters. Because like they're focusing on the universe
Yep.
where everything went wrong, and that's how they're going to keep it going. So, and it's an interesting story. So if you're going to hate one character for doing something dumb, hate
Right.
another one.
Hate them all. and what better team to make a fighting game? I mean,
Oh yeah,
NetherRealm, and they're great at getting the voice talent anyway.
Yeah.
In Mortal Kombat, when they have the Predator pack,
Mm-hmm.
they have
sweet.
they had the Carl Weathers character.
Oh,
wow.
As an
Holy-
alternate Jax
Yeah.
character,
Oh,
voiced by Carl Weathers.
nice.
cool.
So I mean,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it was really sweet, man. I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, I remember downloading it and thinking that'd be cool if that was his voice. And then as I'm playing him, I'm like, "That's his voice? Are you kidding me?" And it was
You're
it
just
was
pressing the
awesome.
button.
I know,
Go!
over and over again.
He's like flexing, like.
I keep letting him get killed just so I can hear him screaming. And what I really wanted to hear him say once was this ding, ding. But that's the wrong movie franchise. So
need the Apollo Creed.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
sweet.
Yeah, they do a really good job with like the voice actors and all the dialogue. Except in this one, I don't know if like people were busy, but so when two characters like clash in a match, they have like a random like little thing of dialogue, and Kevin Conroy says the same thing pretty much every time.
Ugh.
It's either push yourself harder or I'm Batman,
Okay.
and you're like,
They can only afford a few lines. Apparently.
He was probably busy with
He was
other stuff.
paid
I
by
guess.
the word, and they
He was
just
busy
ran out
with
of
he was
budget.
busy with the Batman Harley Quinn movie
They
coming
just
out.
recorded him at cons.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take a little break here. Soundbite. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say about Wonder Woman.
Should we rate it?
I have one
Yeah.
last thing.
Yeah,
And it's
go
just
for it.
like you said, her acting was awesome. I think when Steve blew up in the plane and she saw that, her reaction, I think that really showed her chops too as an actress. I mean, not just the whole, I'm kind of an idealist and, I'm very regal and the whole thing, but just the pain that she felt when that happened. Oh, man, that was just an awesome moment.
Yeah, she really. I give big props to her acting. I didn't think she could.
She sold the entire thing 1,000%.
Because they were careful, and a lot of people were getting on that, like,
Yeah.
they just don't want her to speak.
Yeah.
But no, she's able to carry the dialogue, and her and Steve back and forth. It was really. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And it brought her character from BVS like full circle. So you see why, she
Exactly.
kind of like turned her back on mankind, let them do their own thing.
I
So-
also
No, I was
really liked Steve's reaction when he was blowing up in the plane, kind of like right before that.
That was good.
Because
yeah.
it wasn't like Captain America, this like superhuman guy doing always the right thing.
Yeah.
Like this is just a normal guy, just a soldier doing what a soldier would do, and he was reacting like, I'm doing this, I guess.
Yeah,
And just
right.
like really, you could tell he was freaked out by it, but he also knew it was the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like he had a
And
memory
it
of
happened. Yeah.
Diana before he did it because he smiled all of a sudden. Like, he was like, I had a good time. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
how many, what would we do? Like stars ratings here? What would you like to do?
I give it 10 out of 10 lassos.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that.
I would give it 9.5 out of 10 tiaras.
There you go.
I will give it 10.
You don't have to do the clothing.
Yeah,
I don't
10 out
Yeah.
of 10. Also, lassos, 10 out of 10
All right.
lassos as well.
I'll do the lasso as well.
Yeah.
I mean, no movie's perfect, but
Yeah.
right now I totally like loving everything. I want to see it again. But yeah, either way, it's going to be a great movie. There's always something to nitpick, My concern is, I know this was stupid. Like going back, Avengers made $1 billion, right? That opened up a Pandora's box of
If you don't make $1 billion,
Yes.
it's a failure.
right.
Yeah.
Now that DC's finally got a hit, one, is it going to stop the haters? And two, if whatever follows isn't as great, like Justice League,
Sure.
like it's good, but it, like something like this is like
It's
spectacular.
It's
So
something. It's something that
It's not a bad problem, I guess. It could be worse.
anything that Zack Snyder touches, even Wonder Woman. Like I don't think a lot of people know that he had some writing on it,
Yeah.
so that's why it's not getting as much flack as
That's sad too.
you think so.
'Cause he's going through hell right now.
Yeah. Which, by the way, our hearts are with you, Zach.
Yeah.
It's awful. But like people are already dumping on Justice League, and they're saying, if it's good, Joss Whedon saved it. If it's
Yeah,
bad,
that's-
Joss Whedon couldn't save it because it was
Because
so
it was
bad.
so bad because of Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know
I think
why.
if they learn from this movie, carrying it forward to the others,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to steal obviously blatantly from it. But I mean, as far as the tone, the tonality of the film, if they can replicate that for the others, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I have faith.
And I mean, on the other hand, it's like I don't feel like they have too much to learn from. Like they did a good job with this. They did a great job with this movie. I liked Batman vs Superman. The problem with Batman vs Superman wasn't really the movie; it was the fans like hyping it up and building those expectations of like this is what's going to happen. Batman's going to be this. Superman's going to do this. Blah blah blah. And then when those weren't met, it was like, oh, failure automatically. So that's why I just kind of get like taken back when people say, "Oh, they're gonna do better from here on out." It's like they've been doing great. It's just people can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, I just hope we can all be psyched again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this was an awesome experience for me because, like I said, BVS, I was hyped, but then it really killed the mood when you started hearing all the negative press
Right.
about it.
Because
And
then there's just less people to get hyped with.
because you're more like at that time going in just to be like, okay, how bad is this?
Yeah.
Versus like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I
dang
stopped
it.
following multiple comic outlets
Yeah.
after
Yep.
that, just so I don't have to read the negativity.
I threw my tomatoes out
'Cause now it's
Yeah.
all-
Oh, man,
now
I
it's
won't eat it anymore.
And it's all clickbait, and
It is.
It's the worst.
Because
yeah.
it had all those positive reviews like 2 weeks ago, maybe. One headline came out, oh, it's in trouble. And it
Right.
was just
It
one
was
review.
the
That was
one review, yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this is terrible."
So
Yeah.
bad.
Totally rumor, had to be.
Yeah.
But
So I hope we can get on the train that we have superhero movies. We have tens of superhero movies coming out. We could have none. We could have no superhero movies. Let's get excited that there are superheroes, men, women. It's a diverse lineup. It's a diverse universe. Let's get excited about that. Let's not,
it's not bashing.
hate on the director solely because you hate, like, you love to hate on him.
And I like to think this Wonder Woman success is hopefully. I mean, I think Snyder has reached out and expressed how happy he is, but I think this is a win for him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you don't think movies are, and they're not, more important than family. But
No.
he dedicated so much time over the years. I could
Yeah.
only imagine he's thinking, if I spent more time with my daughter.
Can you imagine
know
the
what I mean?
guilt this guy has gotten his
Right.
head? I mean, it's
and,
just
and nothing's really paid off of the
Mm-hmm.
other all that work
Yeah.
until now, really.
Well, and
And
people are making fun of his daughter.
yeah.
People are
that's just
you
We
know,
read some of those tweets
that's
last week.
sick. Yeah, we
making
call out
like
some
the 13
people.
reasons why and stuff.
Yeah.
Sick.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
it's one thing that, like, a movie's a movie. If you don't like a movie, sure. It's a person though. Like,
But I'm sure this helps. This
Oh, yeah.
positive.
well, because he put out a thing on Vero, whatever,
I think I
Yeah.
saw that.
and it was a
yeah.
picture of Wonder Woman. And he just said proud,
Great.
and that was really good to see.
Great.
So
well done.
yeah.
Definitely. Well,
Awesome.
can't say enough great things about this movie. Just
Yep.
Go see it. Go see it a million
Go see
times.
it. Go see
Yes.
it twice. Go see it. You said a million. Do that one. Do that one actually.
If you can afford it, go do it a million. Otherwise, 2 or 3 times will be
Step
perfect.
one: go to a bank,
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
loan.
We'll just get it on
Oh.
DVD when
Yeah,
it comes,
yeah.
and then you can watch it a billion
Right,
times.
man. We gotta wait now. Jeez. All right. Well, I'll be there when it comes out for
Yeah,
sure.
for real.
Yeah. Everyone out there, check it out. It's great. I really have nothing else to say.
No.
We'll be
Thanks for
back
joining
as-
us.
Yeah.
No problem. Glad
Thank
It was
you,
fun to
Claire.
have a female perspective.
Yeah.
Come back anytime.
Okay.
It's it's harmless.
Yeah.
Just talk. But yeah, we'll be back same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
I'm Steve.
I'm Joey.
I'm Claire.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.